So you want to know how to build the ultimate PUBG PC? Well, these parts don't just apply to PUBG. Of course, if you're after a high-end gaming PC, all of these components will still work together just as they will for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. But of course, with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds being one of the top played games right now, I thought it'd be a good idea to show you, well, what one of the best systems around can get you. So a quick rundown of the specs. We first off have the i7-8700K. Now, I recently did some streaming and gaming and just some general gaming results for the 1800X versus the 8700K, and the 8700K came out on top, so that's why we're using it in this build. Of course, now it does get quite hot, so we're using a 360mm Be Quiet Silent Loop all-in-one water cooler and an ASUS Strix-F Z370 motherboard. Now, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is a very GPU-heavy game, so that's why we're using the Zotac 1080 Ti Mini. Now, you may be saying, why aren't you using, two 1080 Ti's in SLI? That's because PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, at least at this time, doesn't really do that good a job at SLI support, so we're using a single card. But in the future, if it does get proper support, maybe we'll do a version 2 of this video where we use maybe an 1180 Ti in SLI. As to the RAM, we have 32GB of ADATA Spectrix DDR4 RAM. This is obviously RGB sexiness, and of course RGB all the things, so we have the Corsair lighting node as well, and all of that is going inside the Phanteks Pro M Special Edition, which actually has the RGB halos in the front too. As for the power supply, we've got this Superflower sort of 550 watt unit. It's fully modular, it's actually really nice, and overall it's just a pretty decent unit. When it comes to storage, we don't really need too much of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, but of course this is still a general PC guide, so we're using the most balls to the walls components that I have available, and that is a 1TB Samsung NVMe SSD, the 960 Pro, and also for the sake of having it, a 6TB WD Red hard drive. And just to give you an idea, if you're planning on picking all of these parts up, you're looking at spending about £2,800 or about $3,000. This isn't a cheap system. So first things first, we're going to take apart the case and get it ready for building in. That includes taking the side panel off, that includes getting the accessory box out, and especially getting out some of the screws that we'll need to install stuff like the power supply, the motherboard, and stuff like the water cooler as well. As part of my preparation, I had to remove the optical drive bay to be able to mount the AIO cooler that I wanted to, but my personal preference is to actually install the power supply into the basement first. This is a nice easy way to make sure that your cables are all definitely ready. Installing the CPU is really simple. Just lift up the cover, drop the CPU in the right orientation, push the retention bracket down and secure the arm again. RAM is also very simple. Undo the catches and make sure the notch is in the right place and put it down. For the M.2 SSD, you remove all the screws, make sure that the standoff washer is in place, put the SSD in at an angle and then drop it back down and screw it in and re-screw the plate. Installing the hard drive is also very simple. These are a toolless drive bay, so you just undo the clips and put the drive in and push it in, and don't forget to do the rear I/O shield. Installing the motherboard is very simple. Just put it in at a slight angle. I'm doing it upright so that I can show it to you easier, but generally I recommend putting the case on its side and then routing the cables in. Obviously it's just 9 screws that hold in the motherboard, so go through that. And of course, if you're using this case, then don't worry too much about the rear bracket for the CPU water cooler, but if you're using a case that doesn't have a cover, make sure you do attach that first. You also need to attach the 8-pin and the 24-pin power supply cables and the front panel audio headers, or front panel just general headers, as well as the audio header too, and a SATA cable as well as a USB 3 front panel header, and that SATA cable will then get attached to the back of your hard drive. Once you've gotten to this point, you can sit back and admire the beauty of your rig, because that motherboard does look pretty good, as does the RAM and that shiny chip too. So if you have any questions about this, by the way, feel free to leave those in the comments down below, but it's basically just a case of putting the motherboard in, making sure the CPU is in the right way and the RAM too, and obviously attaching all of the necessary cables. The water cooler goes in next, so make sure you apply some thermal paste. I already had some on the actual cooler itself, so don't worry too much about the amount of my application. And then attaching the graphics card is very simple. Remove the 2 rear covers, slide it in, make sure the lock is pushed down, and then attach the PCIe power connectors. Next up is obviously RGB all the things, so we're going to throw in the Corsair lighting node, and then yeah, that's pretty much it built. A little bit of cable management, that's a bit it. So as you can see, it's now built, and we're going to be installing Windows on it. We're going to be installing the Corsair Link software so we can get this nice sexy RGB LEDs working, and otherwise that's going to be the majority of it. So we're going to be installing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds to see how it performs, and then we'll be benchmarking and just playing a few games for the fun of it, I guess. let's take a look. When it comes to the playing experience and actually just the visual appeal of the case, I really do like the overall aesthetic and the playing experience. It was fantastic. I did actually manage to get a couple of kills while testing this, and I was testing on a 1080p monitor. This is full ultra settings, everything maxed out, so this is actually really impressive, the performance numbers that we're managing to get here. In terms of the action numbers, you're looking at 103 FPS average with a minimum of 59 FPS, so if you're playing on a 60Hz monitor, this will not drop below your monitor's refresh rate, which is really impressive, and a maximum of 138 as well. So as you saw, the game performs excellently on this system. You're looking at well over 100 FPS average, which is really impressive when it comes to PUB, and we know how well optimized it currently is. I do believe they're working on some optimizations with the Unreal Engine, but nonetheless, it is really good to see that this system performs that well. Now, there's also an added bonus with this system, not just the RGB LEDs, but the fact that because we're using such a massive amount of storage, including that SSD for caching and stuff like that, and the 8700K, you actually have a massive scope to be able to video edit and stream with this PC as well. So if you want to make this a PUB streaming PC, for example, then that is perfectly possible, and you really don't see a massive performance hit, as I showed in my 8700K versus 1800X gaming and streaming video. I do highly recommend you check that out if you are interested in streaming and gaming. So there you have it. If you want to check out the pricing, when and where you watch this for the parts that I've used in this build, do take a look at the links in the description down below. There'll be some to Amazon and some to Overclockers UK, and also thank you to Overclockers UK who supplied the case for the review initially, but now for this, and all of the companies that supply the parts for this build. Otherwise, that is pretty much it. As I said, if you want to know any more, then feel free to take a look at the links in the description down below. If you want to support me making these videos, as it does take a full day at least to make this sort of thing, then do take a look at the links in the description down below for Amazon and Overclockers UK, and there's a few other bits and pieces down there too. If this is the first video of mine you've watched, then do let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and do hit that subscribe button too. And otherwise, there will be some other videos over there for you to check out, and the subscribe button somewhere there too. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you've got any questions or anything else, let me know in the comments down below. And we'll see you on the next one.